Hey guys, Nick Massey here in the test kitchen with Dave Lipson. Dave.
What's up?
Boom, boom.
It's gonna have to do a couple takes before we figure this out.
Right, and I gotta get.
Look at there we go.
But what we're gonna do is focus on some, what would you call these, bodybuilding meals, or how would you?
Yeah, these are meals with specific types of food quality and quantities for a really specific goal. So the meal we're gonna try to create today is gonna be a meal for cutting.
Okay.
And we're gonna use some ingredients that allow you to metabolize fat really well, but more importantly, the right amounts to help you be able to tap into fat stores if you're in a caloric deficit and trying to modulate the levels of protein, carbs, and fat.
Okay, it all sound. Is it gonna taste good?
It's gonna taste awesome. I'm so excited. I walked in here and saw these ingredients. I'm like, this is exactly what I would want if I was making a meal for myself for cutting.
Perfect. Well, we're glad to help, and you guys come right back for the Cutz breakfast. All right, rock and roll, Dave, let's do it. What I have here, we're gonna take turkey. This is 99.1 turkey, 99 protein, 1% fat. I've got a spice blend here. How does this look?
Ooh, let me smell it.
Fennel, sage, thyme,
Yeah.
red chilies, salt,
I feel like I'm
pepper.
in a cabin in the forest.
Okay, we'll just get this going. If you wanna fire off that pan, turn it, or I'll help you here. Just crank
Fire
it
that
there.
guy?
Yep, we'll get that heat.
We got heat, we got flame.
Yeah. Then grab that bowl over there.
Okay.
And in there we've got 36 egg whites, not yolks.
Nice.
Whites. Yeah.
That's, you know what? That's about what I would eat in a day when I was cutting, about 36 egg whites.
Wow,
Yeah.
crazy. Perfect. You want to throw on some gloves?
Yeah, let's keep it sanitary. Why not?
Boom. I'll have you mix the spices with the turkey breast. Is
Excellent.
that cool?
Yeah. So the meal we're creating is exactly a 500 calorie meal with a macronutrient balance of 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat.
All right.
Which is how we prescribe our athletes doing our Cutz cutting program in terms of balancing their macronutrients. What's really nice about the 500 calorie meal is because it's a nice round number.
Sure.
It's easy to figure out, how many of these you'd want to get in.
2,500 calories. You're gonna eat 5 of these.
Exactly.
For breakfast,
Nice
and
and
then
easy. Just
intermittent fast the rest of the day. Is that
Yeah.
Okay, I'll dump this in there, and then if you want to mix that up,
All right.
just blend it in.
Good. Oh man, this is great. My wife would be so impressed right now. So what's nice about this spice is because when you're eating lean meat, not only is it dry, but it's usually pretty bland as well. Yeah. The way you can add texture and flavor is not necessarily with just more oil and butter, but like getting good spices makes it so much more palatable.
Yeah.
So I love that we're using this.
Yeah, and if you were to go buy like a chicken or a turkey sausage, it's gonna have quite a bit of fat in it, right?
Yeah. You're either gonna be able to eat one sausage and have to have a bunch more egg whites, or the better choice is just none at all, honestly. This is my first, official culinary experience, Nick.
How do you rate yourself?
You're a good teacher. You're very patient with me. I know that some people are not quite as patient.
Is that Cammy? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Go ahead. But you're kind of a novice in the kitchen, or like what? You just keep it simple, don't you?
Well, yeah. One of the things about, eating for a purpose is you learn how to cook some meals for yourself, and you just end up eating the same things. You get really good at like cooking one meal,
Sure.
But you're maybe not as adventurous if you see something that looks good, or you want to try something that's outside of your wheelhouse, and you don't know how to do it. You usually just end up eating what you normally eat.
Okay. Stick to what you know. Cool. I'll come over here and give a little squirt of olive oil.
Yep.
And that's about, what are we saying, 10 grams of fat right there.
Yeah, so what's neat about the proteins that we're using is that the egg whites are extremely low in fat. This is extremely low in fat. It's 6 grams of fat in a serving. So we have about 10 grams of fat to play with, which is great because now we can have like a little bit of olive oil or a little bit of butter to provide that flavor without blowing out the fat macros.
Yeah, and to help cook, right? If you just put eggs in a pan with no oil, it's a little bit.
But
go ahead and start
burnt
tossing
eggs.
that in there.
Okay. Just put.
Does that pan look hot?
I don't know. It's steaming.
Yeah.
It's steaming pretty good. Okay.
There you go. All right, hey, you guys, Dave's doing a great job here. We're just gonna keep chopping away at that sausage,
The
get it
official
cooked up.
technique right here.
Yeah. Kind of like the Dante.
Yep.
The Dante. What is that?
The Dante rolls we were doing yesterday?
Yeah.
This guy, unbelievable. We got smashed in the garage.
Oh, that was fun.
Yep.
So, you guys, well, we're gonna knock this out, and we'll be right back. Okay, Okay, you guys, we're back in. Dave's doing a great job. I think we're about ready to add the egg whites. Should we rock and roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna help you here.
Oh yeah. Look at this, man. I feel like I'm getting bigger just being around this many egg whites and lean ground turkey
Just being
breasts.
around them?
Yeah, just being in the vicinity is like osmosis, you know? You're like, I mean, you get your top view of this thing, like how could you not get big eating this?
Right. You guys, Dave's calling an audible. He wants some red peppers in there, so I'm gonna chop these up while he keeps cooking the whites.
Yep. The red peppers and the sweet potatoes, I mean, the calorie count on red peppers is negligible. It doesn't really have much of a macronutrient content of carbohydrates or anything, but it does have great micronutrients. And a vegetable like this is really easy to digest. It's like one of those low gas vegetables. It's just easy to process and get in. So between the sweet potatoes and the red peppers, not only getting a good source of carbohydrates, but some really good vitamins and minerals without even going crazy on the amount of fiber. You know, this will process and assimilate really well. It's gonna make it look cool, like kind of a little bit festive. And the other thing is like the peppers, they add a nice taste to it, right? Egg whites and lean ground turkey breast, like it is pretty bland. It really will taste whatever you put on top of it. So putting this in will add a nice flavor. I think people assume with frozen meals you're getting stuff that's processed or has preservatives in it, but this is literally how you cook your meals. Right. You cook it, you freeze it, and then it goes right to them, right? It's not, you know, and
the freezer is the preservative.
Yep.
Dave, why don't you speak a little bit to what this piece of paper is doing on the cutting board here?
So we reverse engineered this meal. We started with the total amount of calories and the macronutrient split that we wanted to have, and then from there we selected specific types of ingredients that are really effective for cutting, and then just created the right portion. So this is our Thunder Cutz breakfast. It's a 500 calorie meal, which we talked about is really easy to try to figure out how many of these you should be eating a day with a nice round number like that. The macronutrient split is 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat. So what that breaks down to is 50 grams of protein, 37.5 grams of carbs, and 16 grams of fat, which we got from our 6 egg whites and 4 ounces of turkey sausage. And so that'll be a single, and the olive oil. The sweet potatoes, it was 6 ounces of sweet potato for the 37.5 grams of carbs. And the the teaspoon of olive oil was just so we could get the 10 grams of fat, because we actually came in low on fat, which is great because now we get to make it a little tasty.
Okay, yeah, and usually that's the other way around, right? Usually you have too much fat and you can't really take fat out once it's in the pan. So working from the other side gives us some olive oil, which gives us the cooking agent to get this whole thing started.
I mean, if you went out and ate breakfast, you'd end up doing this backwards. You'd look at your plate and you'd be like, all right, I can't eat most of those eggs, or I can't eat most of those potatoes. And a lot of it is unknown too, because you don't know, and you always be shocked how much oil and sugar people are, especially chefs, are putting in. That stuff tastes great. And oftentimes these people, not only do they not understand the reason why you're eating and why you're eating a specific way, but a lot of times they don't care because they just want to create tasty food. So this is a great way to kind of eliminate those factors, those unknowns, by taking control and being intentional and preemptive about what you're putting in your body.
Love it. Love it. Cool, let's get this plated up and then we'll come back and show you guys how it looks. Rock and roll, Dave. Hey, bro, so awesome. What he just said, you guys, was that he's confident that we've just created something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to find a meal unless you're preparing your own food. You're doing this stuff yourself. You're not going to go out to eat and find a 750 calorie meal with 56 grams of protein and 25 grams of fat. Like, you're not going to get that out there. You know, and also we were speaking to, like, not only doing this and getting the calories and the macronutrients where they need to be, but to be able to combine it with Ice Age Meals processes, the quality of the food you're using and the processes you have to make sure the flavors and all the nutrients are able to get delivered to the client without putting preservatives and chemicals on it. Like, that's pretty unique. Awesome, I couldn't find this type of meal profile if I went looking through deliverable meals right now. I'm not going to find a 750 calorie meal.
It's coming, baby.
So I'm so stoked. We got the Thunder Cutz meal, a 500 calorie meal with 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat, with the coolest ingredients. You got the micronutrients from the sweet potatoes, egg whites, lean ground turkey breast, and the awesome flavors and seasoning we've put put in
Yeah,
there.
and our sausage.
And then we got the Thunder Bro Get
Gains.
Huge meal,
Yeah.
where we're bumping it up 750 calories,
Whoa.
which you usually don't get that in a frozen meal.
Sure.
But the macros are 40% carbs, 30% protein, and 30% fat, which is, again, like really hard to find that much of a caloric density with that little fat.
Right.
So overall, I think we've created something unique that I don't think exists yet in that deliverable meal market.
Well, Dave, thanks so much for coming
dude.
down. We got some more videos coming up, so check those out, and more meals, right?
More meals.
As always, we're here to help you eat better
Live longer.
and
Get huge!
Eat better!
Live longer.